You know, in soccer, there are some home stadiums that are just fortresses. They seem unbreakable. Well, today, we're talking about a fortress that didn't just get breached, it completely crumbled from the inside out. This is the incredible story of how a surefire win for Tigres turned into a stunning, unforgettable collapse.
So, that's the big question, right? How does that even happen? We're going to break down this wild match between Tigres and Pachuca to find those exact moments where everything went wrong, where a huge opportunity was seized, and where the unbelievable became a reality. All right, let's set the scene. We're at the Estadio Universitario, but everyone knows it as El Volcán, the volcano, and for good reason. This is Tigres' home turf, a place where visiting teams usually get swallowed whole by the noise, the pressure, and just the sheer quality of the home team. Seriously, everything was pointing to a routine, dominant home victory.
And man, for that entire first half, it was playing out just like everyone expected. Tigres were completely in the driver's seat. They were controlling possession, setting the pace. Pachuca was basically just chasing shadows out there while Tigres were comfortably knocking the ball around. It looked easy.
And then, of course, at the 38-minute mark, the inevitable happened. It was just a beautiful piece of teamwork. Ángel Correa finds this little pocket of space, looks up and threads a perfect pass into the box for Ozziel Herrera to tap it in. 1-0 Tigre. The volcano was absolutely rocking. It felt like the game was already over.
But, and this is where the entire story just flips on its head. All of that momentum, all of that control, all of that dominance was about to be completely undone by one single catastrophic mistake right after halftime.
I mean, think about it. 45 minutes of solid, disciplined, perfect work, all about to be thrown away in a split second. This is that moment that doesn't just change the game, it changes the entire destiny of the match, shifting the vibe from total confidence to absolute panic. And here it is, the 50th minute. It all starts with something that seems so simple, you know? A foul. A clumsy challenge in midfield in the heat of the moment. But the fallout from this one, it was going to be massive for Tigres.
The defender, Joaquim Pereira, makes a reckless challenge on Pachuca's Alexei Dominguez. And the ref, he doesn't even think twice. It's a straight red card. And just like that, the fortress has a gaping hole right in its defense. Tigres are down to 10 men with 40 long minutes still to play. In that instant, Pereira became the villano del partido, the villain of the match.
And you know it's bad when even the team's captain, Guido Pizarro, calls it out. After the game, he zeroed in on that exact moment. You can practically hear the frustration in his words. He's basically saying, look, we were the better team until that happened. He knew that red card wasn't just a setback, it was the crack that brought the whole wall down.
Okay, so you've got Tigres on the ropes, a man down, totally reeling. And Pachuca, they could smell blood in the water. They weren't just given the lifeline, they grabbed it with both hands. And what they did next was just a masterclass in how to punish an opponent's mistake. This timeline really tells the whole story, doesn't it? You see Tigres' goal, putting them comfortably ahead. Then, bam, the red card at 50 minutes. And after that, the story belongs completely to Pachuca. That one moment just blew the game wide open.
For nearly 30 minutes, Tigres are just hanging on for dear life. But you could feel it coming. The pressure was just building and building. Pachuca, with the extra man, kept pushing forward until finally, in the 78th minute, the wall breaks. A corner comes in, and their star striker, Salomón Rondón, just soars above everyone else and powers a header into the back of the net. It's 1-1. The comeback is officially on.
So the clock is ticking down. We're in the 87th minute. The home fans are probably just begging for the final whistle, hoping to just get out of there with a draw. At this point, a tie would feel like a win. But then, something completely insane happens. Pachuca's Robert Kenedy gets the ball just inside the Tigres half. Now look, 99 times out of 100, a player in that spot is looking for a pass, right? You try to build up the play patiently. But Kenedy, he saw an opportunity that literally nobody else in the entire stadium could see. Not the players, not the fans, and definitely not the goalkeeper.
He just lets it fly. An absolutely audacious, unbelievable strike from way out that catches the keeper, Nahuel Guzmán, completely off his line. It just sails over his head and into the net. An incredible goal. And just like that, it's 2-1 Pachuca. The volcano is silent. Total shock.
So after a shocker like that, the story writes itself. It was crystal clear. You had your heroes, you had your villains, and this result was way more important than just one loss on the schedule.
I mean, the roles were perfectly cast.
You had Pereira, the villain, whose huge mistake left the door wide open. You had Rondón, the equalizer, who kicked it down. And then, of course, Kenedy, the hero with that once-in-a-lifetime strike. And as a cool little side story, former Tigres star Enner Valencia, who now plays for Pachuca, got a warm welcome from his old fans when he came on.
And if you really wanted to understand just how massive this upset was, just look at these numbers. This wasn't just any loss. In their history, Pachuca had only won at this stadium twice before this game. This was their third win ever at El Volcán, compared to 18 losses. That tells you everything you need to know about the scale of this collapse.
And here are the lineups that started what everyone thought would be just another day at the office. On the Tigres side, you see all the names that made them such huge favorites. For Pachuca, a mix of solid veterans and young talent. But what this game proved, once and for all, is that matches are never, ever decided on paper.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it's a huge reminder that momentum is so fragile. No matter how much control you think you have, one mistake, one moment of pure genius can rewrite the entire script. It just shows you how razor-thin the line between triumph and disaster truly is. And that's not just in soccer, right? That's pretty much everything.